Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Great Oracles Bible Explained series. Today we'll be delving into a pivotal and joyous moment in biblical history, the birth of Isaac. We're focusing on Genesis chapter 8, verses 26 to 30, where the long-promised child Isaac is finally born to Abraham and Sarah. Imagine the scene. It's bright sunlight filtering through the fabric of their tent as this elderly couple holds their miraculous baby. This is a story of promise fulfilled and unwavering faith. In our last video, we explored the anticipation and the promise that God had made to Abraham and Sarah. They had journeyed long and had moments of doubt. But today, we get to witness God's promise come to life. It's a beautiful reminder of how divine timing works and the importance of faith, especially when the odds seem impossible. So what was so special about Isaac's birth? To understand this, we need to go back a bit to grasp why this moment is so monumental. Abraham and Sarah were advanced in age, well beyond the typical years for childbearing. Yet God promised them a son, a promise that seemed laughable at first, literally. Sarah laughed when she heard God say she would have a son. Can you blame her? She was around 90 years old at that time. But God was clear. Sarah, your wife, shall bear you a son, and you shall call his name Isaac. What's fascinating is that Isaac means he laughs, capturing both Sarah's initial reaction and the joy his birth would eventually bring. Now let's break down these verses. In Genesis 8:26 we read, "And the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did unto Sarah as he had spoken." Right from the start, we see that God is faithful to his word. What God promises, he delivers, no matter how improbable it seems to us. God visiting Sarah signifies divine intervention. It's an act beyond natural order, an act of grace and fulfillment. In verse 27, "For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time of which God had spoken to him." Here's an essential point, the set time. God's timing is not our timing, but it is always perfect. This verse confirms that their waiting wasn't in vain. God had a plan and a perfect moment for Isaac's birth. Verse 28 continues, "And Abraham called the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah bare to him, Isaac." Notice how deliberate the naming is. Names had profound significance in biblical times, often reflecting circumstances of birth or prophetic futures. Isaac, meaning he laughs, not only signifies joy but also encapsulates the disbelief turned into profound happiness. By verse 29, "And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac being 8 days old, as God had commanded him." Circumcision was a physical sign of the covenant between God and Abraham. This act shows obedience and commitment to God's covenant, binding Isaac to the promises and blessings God bestowed upon Abraham's lineage. Finally, verse 30 states, "And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born unto him." Let's pause here. Abraham was 100 years old. Often we gloss over this detail, but think about it. This wasn't just a miracle. It was a fulfillment of an impossible promise. Abraham's advanced age magnified God's power and the miraculous nature of Isaac's birth. Think about moments in your own life when you've had to wait, when the odds were stacked against you, yet something incredible happened. This story serves as a powerful reminder that faith and patience can lead to extraordinary outcomes. It encourages us to trust in promises, even when they seem delayed. Here's something I'd love to see in the comments. Have you ever experienced a promise or a dream fulfilled after a long period of waiting? Share your stories below. I'd love to read them. Isaac's birth wasn't just about the arrival of a long-awaited child. It was a turning point in the biblical narrative, setting the stage for the eventual emergence of the nation of Israel. Isaac's lineage would lead to Jacob, who would father the 12 tribes of Israel. This isn't just an isolated story. It's a significant moment in the grand tapestry of God's plan for humanity. Moreover, the laughter associated with Isaac ties into the joy that comes when promises are fulfilled. Sometimes, joy can feel distant when you're in a season of waiting, but when it arrives, it not only affects you, but can influence generations to come. Isaac's birth wasn't just a joy for Abraham and Sarah. It was a joy that echoed through history. In today's world, this story can resonate deeply with us. We live in a fast-paced society where waiting can feel unbearable and faith can waver. But Isaac's birth teaches us about divine timing. It was a reminder that God doesn't operate on our calendar. The joy that comes from faithfully waiting is unparalleled and profoundly beautiful. As we wrap up today's episode, think about the promises you're holding on to. Reflect on the times when patience seemed like the hardest virtue to practice but resulted in the most beautiful outcomes. Remember, faith isn't just about belief. It's also about trust and patience, and sometimes even a bit of laughter along the way. Join me next time as we continue to unravel the incredible stories of the Bible, bringing ancient wisdom into our contemporary lives. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next episode. Until then, keep the faith and keep laughing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.